What if we could transform our dreams into concrete plans and then turn those plans into focused, refined actions that lead directly to achieving our goals? If we truly desire progress, we are compelled to take all we know and feel and find a way to bring it to life. We must take the value within us and show it to the world. If we don't, our talents will remain hidden, unappreciated and unrewarded. The key to success lies not in what we know or feel, but in what we do with it. Why do some people fail while others succeed? It's a question that can be baffling, even unfair. We all know people who have a good education, the right attitude and a sincere desire to make something of themselves. They are good parents, loyal friends and honest employees, yet despite their knowledge, good intentions and efforts, they lead lives of quiet desperation. They should be much further along, but they seem to receive so little. Then others seem to succeed despite having very little. They may lack education, hold poor attitudes and act dishonestly, yet these individuals often come out on top. Why is it that the good seem to have so little while the dishonest seem to have so much? The difference lies in one crucial factor: action. These people may have the wrong virtues or ethics, but they take consistent action. They work hard day in and day out, pushing themselves to achieve their goals, while we may have the right intentions and strong values. We often fall short in taking those values to the marketplace. We fail to turn our dreams into action. While we're dreaming about success, they're doing something about it. It may not always be the right thing, but their commitment, consistency and intensity are undeniable. In the end, it's their actions, not just their desires, that make them successful. They're not waiting for life to happen to them, they're actively making it happen. Evil rushes in to fill the void left by the absence of good. The only requirement for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing. Unfortunately, this is what many good people choose to do. Our lack of disciplined, focused activity has allowed the wrong kind of behavior to thrive and good intentions to falter. If life feels unfair, we have no one to blame but ourselves. Imagine for a moment how different our world would be if we committed today to act on everything we are, wherever we are, with whatever we have. What if starting right now we gave 100% to our work, our families and our communities? What if we began to read more, replace errors with disciplines and associate with people who inspire us? What if right now we turned our dreams into plans and our plans into specific actions? The difference we could make would be incredible. We could set in motion the force of good, replacing the negative influences that hold us back. We could create lives full of challenge, excitement and achievement, and we could leave an inheritance of a virtue, integrity and substance for the next generation, a foundation on which they could build a new world. All of this is possible if we simply choose to act, to put our skills, talents and energy to work. In the end, it's not enough to simply dream about success. We must take those dreams and convert them into action. Only then will we see the rewards of our effort, and only then will we create the life we've always wanted. My friends, failure is not a single catastrophic event. It doesn't happen overnight. Failure is the inevitable result of a slow accumulation of poor thinking and poor choices. To put it simply, failure is nothing more than a series of errors and judgment repeated day after day. Now, why would someone repeatedly make poor decisions? Why would they continue down a path that leads nowhere? The answer is simple: they don't think it matters in the moment. Our daily actions don't always seem that important. A minor oversight, a poor decision, or a wasted hour doesn't immediately show us its consequences. Most of the time we escape the immediate effects of our actions. Take something as simple as not reading a single book in the past 3 months. At first it seems like no big deal, no immediate harm comes from not reading, so we let the habit slide for another 90 days and then another. Why? Because it doesn't seem to matter at the time. But this is where the danger lies. The real problem isn't just the books we didn't read, it's that we fail to recognize that it matters. The price for these poor choices is paid later. Those who eat unhealthy foods regularly are contributing to a future health problem, but the fleeting enjoyment of the moment overshadows the long-term consequences. It doesn't seem to matter today. Those who smoke or drink excessively make the same mistakes year after year because the consequences don't hit them immediately, but eventually the day of reckoning arrives, and when it does, the cost for those choices that didn't seem to matter, becomes undeniable. Failure's most dangerous attribute is its subtlety. In the short term, these small errors don't seem to make any difference. We don't feel the impact right away. These repeated missteps can occur during periods of happiness and prosperity, which causes us to believe that we are fine. If nothing terrible happens, then surely it's safe to repeat the action. Since there's no immediate consequence, it feels harmless. But here's the problem: we must become more educated than that. Imagine if every time we made an error in judgment the sky came crashing down. If every mistake brought immediate pain, we would quickly change our behavior. Like the child who touches a hot stove despite the warnings, we would learn the lesson quickly through instant consequences. But failure doesn't work that way. It doesn't shout at us and it doesn't come with immediate consequences. That's why it's so easy to drift from day to day, repeating the same mistakes, thinking the same unhelpful thoughts, and listening to the wrong voices. We don't get immediate feedback, and so we assume that nothing is wrong. This is why it is so important to develop a strong personal philosophy, one that helps guide our choices and helps us recognize that every action matters. When we have a solid philosophy to rely on, we become more aware of the consequences of our actions. We realize that every choice, even the small ones, has an impact. Each decision is a part of the path that leads to either success or failure. The goal is to understand that every moment, every choice and every action counts, and they add up over time. If we want to succeed, we must be deliberate in our decisions, learn from our mistakes, and refine our thinking so that we can avoid the traps of complacency and negligence. Failure doesn't come from one single decision, it comes from small repeated errors that we don't notice until the consequences are too large to ignore. But by recognizing the importance of our choices now and by being disciplined in our actions, we can steer ourselves towards success, one good decision at a time. Here's the great news: just as there's a formula for failure, there's also a formula for success, and it's incredibly simple. A few basic disciplines are practiced consistently every day. For every discipline effort, there are multiple rewards. This is one of life's greatest arrangements. The law of sowing and reaping is the foundation of success. For every disciplined effort, there are multiple rewards. What a powerful concept! If you render a unique service, your rewards will multiply. If you're fair, honest and patient with others, your rewards will grow. If you give more than you expect to receive, you'll receive far more than you ever imagined. But here's the crucial point: the key word in all of this is discipline. Everything of value in life requires care, attention and discipline. Our thoughts too need discipline. Without it, our thoughts become muddled and confused, and if our thoughts are unclear, we'll inevitably become lost in the maze of life. Confused thoughts lead to confused results. Remember the law: for every disciplined effort, there are multiple rewards. It's not just about the big thing, it's about the small consistent habits that we build over time. Learn the discipline of writing a card or a letter to a friend. Learn the discipline of paying your bills on time, arriving at appointments on time, of managing your time more effectively. Learn the discipline of paying attention to your work, your relationships and your finances. Learn the discipline of continuously educating yourself, teaching others and reading more. For every discipline, there are rewards. For each book you read, new knowledge is gained. For each success, new ambitions are born. For each challenge, a new understanding emerges, and for each failure, there is a fresh determination to try again. Life is like that, it's a series of rewards even for the challenges we face. The key is to recognize that everything we do, no matter how small, adds up. However, there's a word of caution for those who neglect life's disciplines. Everything has its price. Everything affects everything else. If we neglect discipline, there will be a price to pay. Over time, we can take things for granted, and that's what I call the law of familiarity. Without the discipline of paying daily attention, we can slip into a routine of complacency. We take our success, our health, our relationships for granted, and before we know it, we're caught in a pattern of neglect. Life is not a practice session, it's real and it's happening now. Take a moment to think about your life at this very moment. What areas need attention? Perhaps you've had a disagreement with someone you love and your anger has kept you from talking to them. This is an ideal time to examine your need for a new discipline. Maybe you're on the brink of giving up or starting over or beginning something new. What's missing in your life is the self-imposed discipline that will push you to try harder, work more intensely and move beyond your current limits. The most valuable form of discipline is the discipline you impose upon yourself. Don't wait for things to deteriorate so drastically that someone else has to step in and force discipline upon you. That would be tragic. How would you explain that someone else cared more about you than you cared about yourself? Someone had to push you out of your comfort zone when you were content to let success slip away to someone else who was willing to put in the effort. Your life and my life will serve as either a warning or an example. It will either be a warning of the consequences of neglect, self-pity, lack of direction and ambition, or it will be an example of talent put to use, of discipline self-imposed, and of goals clearly perceived and intensely pursued. The choice is yours and the time to act is now. now the formula for success. Here's an interesting question worth pondering. How can we turn the errors in the formula for failure into the disciplines needed for success? The answer is simple: by making the future an important part of our current philosophy. If this is true, why don't more people take time to reflect on the future? Both success and failure are driven by future consequences, inevitable rewards or unavoidable regrets resulting from our past actions. So why don't more people consider the future in their daily choices? The answer is clear: they are too caught up in the present moment. The challenges and rewards of today are so consuming that many people never pause long enough to think about the long-term impact of their actions. But what if we took just a few minutes every day to look a little further down the road? If we did, we would begin to recognize the impending consequences of our current behaviors. Armed with that awareness, we would be able to make the changes necessary to turn our errors into disciplines aimed at success. In essence, by disciplining ourselves to think ahead, we can change our mindset, correct our mistakes, and replace bad habits with ones that will lead to the future we desire. One of the most exciting aspects of the formula for success, those few simple disciplines practiced every day, is that the results can come quickly when we consciously change our small daily errors into positive disciplines. We start seeing immediate results. Change your diet and in just a few weeks you'll notice your health improving. Start exercising and you'll feel a surge of new vitality right away. Begin reading and you'll experience an expanding awareness and new level of self-confidence almost immediately. Whatever new discipline you adopt, it will bring about exciting results, pushing you to develop even more disciplines in the future. The real magic of adopting new disciplines is that they help us amend our thinking. If we start today to read the right books, keep a journal, attend the right classes, listen more attentively and observe more carefully, then today would mark the beginning of a new life, a life on track for a better future. If we start today to put more effort into everything we do and make a conscious, consistent effort to replace subtle destructive errors with constructive, rewarding disciplines, we'll never again settle for a life of mere existence. Once we've tasted the fruits of a life of substance, we'll realize that we are capable of far more than we ever imagined. This is the formula for success: consistent, disciplined action every single day, and once we begin, we'll never look back. Now let's link this concept of action with the foundational principle of success. When we consistently take action, when we apply the discipline to improve daily, we begin to understand one of the most crucial laws of success, the law of sowing and reaping. For every disciplined effort we will reap multiple rewards. Success doesn't come from hoping or wishing, it comes from the steady, deliberate actions we take each day, even in the smallest of tasks. When we practice discipline even in the little things like reading a book, showing up on time, or having meaningful conversations, we begin to see immediate results. Building our ambition and cultivating an enterprising mindset doesn't happen overnight. It requires that we continually push ourselves to do more, to be more. This isn't about waiting for the perfect opportunity, it's about recognizing that the future is shaped by the decisions we make right now. Self-enterprise is found in activity, not in passive thought or idle dreaming. We must do the work, take the opportunity in front of us, turn it into action and act with intent. The more we do, the more we find that opportunities multiply around us. Every action taken is a seed sown toward the future we desire. Remember, it's not just about wishing to change or hoping that things will get better. Success is in the doing. Discipline is the engine that drives change and produces results. Activity is the catalyst that turns dreams into reality. It's the process of doing that brings value, and without it we miss the opportunity. It's easy to get distracted by the allure of quick fixes. Some would have us believe that affirmations alone can lead to transformation, but as we've learned, simply repeating "I'm getting better" every day won't create the changes we seek. Affirmations can be motivating, but they must always be backed by consistent action. Action is what moves us forward. Without it, affirmations are simply words. So we must take the necessary steps to transform our dreams into actionable goals. Discipline is not a one-time effort, it's an ongoing commitment to improvement. Each day is a new chance to make progress, and each disciplined choice brings us closer to the life we want. By taking action today, we are not only shaping our future but building the foundation for long-term success. As we move forward, we turn our ambitions into achievements through the simple yet powerful discipline of action. So you're here and ready to make a change. You want to build the power of your ambition and transform your life. The first step to unlocking this potential is to put your problems down on paper. When you face a mental roadblock, take a moment to remove the emotion by writing it down. This simple act of transferring your thoughts onto paper helps you view the situation objectively, allowing you to see what you did right and what needs improvement. Create 2 columns. On one side write the problem, on the other list possible solutions. To uncover these solutions, ask yourself 3 key questions. What can I do? What could I read? Who could I ask? By approaching the problem systematically, you take away its power over you and start gaining clarity. The next step is to develop the ability to brainstorm. Brainstorming is about allowing your thoughts to flow freely without judgment. It's about being unafraid of making mistakes or saying something silly, because sometimes the most offbeat idea might be the spark for a breakthrough. When brainstorming in a group, this collective process can be powerful. Each person's idea can trigger the next, leading to a cascade of creative solutions. For brainstorming to work, everyone needs to feel comfortable and free from judgment. If you hold back, you may miss the key idea that could change everything. Don't worry about being perfect. Let the ideas flow and see where they lead. Another important step in cultivating your ambition is to imagine outlandish solutions. It's easy to fall into the trap of only considering practical or conventional ideas, but by allowing yourself to think beyond what's possible or logical, you can open up new avenues of creativity. These seemingly impractical ideas can often lead to the most effective solutions. When you get your brain out of its usual rut and push the boundaries of conventional thinking, you create the conditions for real breakthroughs. By thinking without limitations, you might uncover opportunities you never thought possible. A fun yet powerful way to spark creativity is to doodle. Yes, you heard that right, doodling. It's not just idle or meaningless scribbling. It's a great way to engage a different part of your brain and stimulate new thinking. When you doodle, your mind can make connections that it wouldn't while focusing on structured tasks like creating a flowchart. The act of doodling can trigger ideas and symbols that may lead to innovative solutions. While it might seem trivial, this simple act can awaken your creative thinking and help you notice opportunities that are always right in front of you. To truly expand your horizons and seize new opportunities, you must access the information highway. Networking. Start connecting with people you wouldn't normally meet. Don't limit yourself to the familiar. Seek out relationships that introduce you to new ideas, perspectives and opportunities. The more you expand your network, the more you learn and grow. Networking isn't just about finding help, it's about gaining fresh insights and exploring new avenues for success. Be open to connecting with people from all walks of life and professions. The right connection can completely shift your mindset and bring new possibilities into focus. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, commit yourself to learning. Feed your mind with information that sharpens your understanding of life, people and the world around you. By learning continuously, you're equipping yourself with the tools to improve not only your professional life but your personal life as well. Learning is the foundation of a life worth living. It leads to wealth, happiness and health. The more you learn, the more you grow, and the more you grow, the more you'll discover your potential. Remember, self-enterprise begins with learning. Keep feeding your mind, stay curious and embrace every opportunity to expand your knowledge. This ongoing journey of learning is what will fuel your ambition and turn your dreams into reality. In conclusion, the difference between failure and success lies in the choices we make and the actions we take every day. Failure is not a single dramatic event, it is the result of repeated small mistakes, overlooked opportunities and a lack of consistent effort. Failure often comes from neglecting the disciplines that lead to growth and success. On the other hand, success is the product of intentional, disciplined actions, taking the time to plan, learn and grow with each step. It's about turning dreams into concrete plans and plans into consistent actions. Success doesn't happen overnight, and it's not an accident. It is built on daily habits, choices and the willingness to push through challenges. Those who succeed are those who don't just dream but who take their dreams and transform them into reality. Through discipline, creativity and resilience, they understand that every action, no matter how small, compounds over time to create profound results. The key to success is not found in avoiding failure but in learning from it, adjusting course and continuing to move forward with purpose. Ultimately, success is about doing. It's in the activity, the effort and the discipline. It's about taking responsibility for our choices and shaping our futures with the right mindset and a commitment to consistent growth. Success is within everyone's reach. It requires the courage to take action, the discipline to stay the course and the wisdom to learn from both our success and failures.